Yes! That's the word of the day in Australia. The results are in, and there was a resounding win for the yes vote in Australia's marriage equality postal survey. Stupid, pointless, expensive, non-binding pile of shit that does nothing except show the cowardice of the Prime Minister. But hey, at least we now have the reinforcement of what every survey, public opinion, a poll on the topic for years has said, depending where you ask, who you ask, what you ask, between 2/3 and 3/4 of the Australian population is in favour of marriage equality. And the government finally lost its last option to hide from this reality. Hopefully now Turnbull stops simpering to the extreme right of his own party. Bill's already been introduced to Parliament that's relatively straightforward. Change the Marriage Act to allow people of the same gender to marry. Basically, to remove the bullshit that John Howard put in the 90s, where it explicitly said marriage had to be a man and a woman. Now, I know Wednesdays I normally go with a wanker fat Wednesday. What am I not giving a fuck about? And of course, there is an angle I could take in that. The people who are still fucking whining about oh, what about our religious freedoms? What about fuck you? I mean, when anyone who in this whole farce has said anything about freedom, they meant my freedom to be a horrible, bigoted piece of shit. This was never about saying, hey, let's grab religious people and force them to get gay married. That was basically the argument the No Camp was making. Their entire campaign was lies. If they weren't lying, the sole thing they would have said for the entire campaign was, we don't think gay people should be able to get married. Because that was the sole question being voted on. Instead, because they knew how unpalatable that was to the vast majority of the population, they resorted to lies and talking about irrelevancies. And saying, oh, if the gays are allowed to marry, before you know it, there'll be this compulsory literal sex education, as in teachers will put on strap-ons and teach kiddies how to fuck. And it's just like, if you are forced to, as your primary argument, use lies, not as a backup, not as a side thing to get fringe people, but if the entire centerpiece of your argument is lies, you don't have an argument. And even at the last ditch, just before the result came out, you had Abbott going, oh, you know what? A 40% result would be a moral victory. Well, you didn't get it, did you, fucko? Overall, it was close to 62% in favour in individual areas. Some isolated areas did actually, little clusters voted in a majority for no. But then some areas, like Melbourne and Sydney, voted over 80% in favour. Averaged out at about 62% of the people who voted said yes, which is very conclusive. And it's really interesting, straight out of the gate, the conservative homophobes, and that's what they fucking are, and I refuse to gloss over it. These people say, you can't call me a homophobe. Yeah, I can, because it's a factual definition of what you are when what you're trying to do is deny queer couples basic fucking rights and to say they are less under the law. And to tell lies like Bob Catter came out and said, oh, everyone's been sold up the river because, same-sex couples had the same rights as married couples without being married, which is blatantly untrue. That is simply factually untrue. So anyone who says that is either too stupid to understand the law or blatantly fucking lying. In either case, not worth paying attention to. And all the people go, oh, well, you can't just ignore the no voters here. Well, yeah, you fucking can, because that's what this vote was. It was a simple binary question. Should there be marriage equality? Yes or no? Yes wins, no gets ignored. Because, and again, I stress, contrary to the fucking lies put about by the no campaign, the vote means nothing beyond marriage is equal now. No matter the gender of the two people in the marriage, it's equal. And it purely and simply wasn't, well, won't be until the law is actually changed, which again, the Prime Minister has promised before Christmas, which would be nice to actually see him achieve something, because he's been pretty goddamn pathetic. Even on policies I don't like, he hasn't been able to achieve an end on them. It's been a very pathetic government, but hopefully this just goes through with a minimum of bullshit, and the whiners who still won't accept the fact that they are the past and marriage equality is the future and it's what a clear majority of the country wants, well, you don't fucking count, dickheads. Don't give a fuck about you.